Right, hopefully that is live, although heaven knows. Well, we'll give it a go at least. So it is the first of a live Lazy Sunday. I haven't done one of these before. I've done Lazy Sundays before, but this is the first one that I've done live. I thought maybe it might cut down on video editing, but then it might end up just being a really, really long video. We'll see. So we've got a choice today. I've got several things here. Oh look, people are already here. That's insane. Hello. Julian's here, Theo's here, Brain Freeze, Paul Martin. Hello everyone. Yeah, so we've got a choice here, and I'd like you guys to choose if possible. I think I might veto this one because it's got too many components that I don't really want to solder, because I've done a lot of LEDs recently. So this one is an LED matrix, but you plug it into the computer, and it seems to be an HID device. So it's an audio device essentially. Well, it's not HID, it's a multimedia device you can plug in via USB. So I don't really know how that works. It doesn't have all the components for a 3.5mm line-in jack, so it's a weird one. This one has less LEDs, so I'm happier about doing this one. And then there's this one, which would be a nice easy one to do. Not easy, it wouldn't perhaps be so taxing on my soldering skills. This is a clap switch. So we'll just do a little clap and it should turn on that LED, hopefully. So I'm kind of hoping you'll vote for that one. Let me jump over to the chat and have a look. I'm using my laptop, which is a terrible laptop. So if anything's going wrong, do tell me. You'll have to let me know if the audio's okay. What's my drink today? Well, it is, let's call it Scottish urine, shall we? That's what it is today. Stream seems fine. Was there some problem before? If the video's a bit jerky, it's because my laptop's terrible. So we'll see what the issue is, if there is indeed an issue. Let me just, I'm watching the chat at the same time, which is going to, not chat, the stream at the same time, which is going to tax my processor a little bit. So the audio's fine. And the video's okay, is it? Can you guys see me wave my hand about smoothly enough? Robert says, didn't you do a clap switch before? No, I did what I thought was a clap switch, but turned out to be an audio level meter. But it didn't quite work. Julian says he can't see anything, but I think other people can see it. You might need to refresh the page, Julian. Right, so I need you guys to choose. Are we going to do the audio level spectrum analyzer thing, or are we going to do the clap switch? So you guys choose. So on the left-hand side, we have the clap switch. On the right-hand side, we have the spectrum analyzer. Bear in mind, I don't know, there are no instructions with the spectrum analyzer or with the clap switch. That's just a label there. Not the clap switch. Everyone's saying spectrum thing. Okay. All right, we'll do the spectrum analyzer thing. I had a feeling you might go for this one. All right, let's just get this packet open and we'll see what kind of components we've got, shall we? So we've got a bunch LEDs. They're 0603 LEDs. That's going to be annoying. We've got an IC just there, which is unmarked. There's no text on the thing. We've got our board, nothing on the front, but we've got some stuff on the back. So I don't know if any of you can see what it says. So maybe one of you could go away and have a look at the instructions for me. SYYYD.com, and then it's got this number here. I'm sure you guys can see it. I can't use the computer at the same time as doing this stream because I've got a crappy laptop, so that's why it's in 720p as well, rather than the 1080 this camera can pick up. It's not an MSG EQ7. That would have less pins. That's an 8-pin device, a little dip 8-pin. I don't think there's an SMD version of that actually. We've got a 220 microfarad capacitor. We've got a little 3.5mm jack. Let's see if I can get a bit more light on that bit there. Let's move these around. God, if you could see the setup that I'm working with, you'd be very surprised about how it works at all. I'm not sure that's helped. Anyway, we've got we've got 3. That's weird, isn't it? So we've got 2 of these 3.5mm stereo plugs, and then that's a DC power jack. That one there. It's very difficult to see, I know. I realise. So that's just a DC power jack there. I don't think I've got anything that's going to plug into that, so we might have to forgo that and just power it through, I don't know what, we'll figure something out. And we've got some capacitors. These are 330 ohm capacitors. We've got, sorry, not capacitors, resistors. We've got some capacitors here. I don't know what they'll be, but they're all going to be the same. I'll get a multimeter in a second, we'll check them. With there being no instructions, we've got things on the board here. It's so difficult to see, isn't it? We've got C2 marked, we've got R8, R12, R13, I don't know what's going where, but I'm going to assume all of the same value resistors go here. And, God, it's going to be difficult. We've got, which one's this? What is that? That's a 100 ohm. If someone wants to look up the instructions for this, that would be greatly appreciated. Alexander asks, are you using lead-free solder for your projects? I have some lead-free solder, but it's not usually very good, so I don't tend to use it. Right, so we're going to have to make some assumptions about where the components are going on here, unfortunately. But, you know, that's fine, isn't it? It works or it doesn't work. So we've got our little flux brush that we can do that with. In fact, what's on the other side? They're just LEDs on the other side, aren't they? Maybe they'd be best to do first. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to go and get the... No, we'll do this side first. That's not a problem. We'll do this. Okay, so turn this around. We're going to be doing the IC first, and the other side we'll get the PCB holder to sort it out. I do breathe a lot when there's a lot of LED stuff, LED solder going on. But the thing is, whiskey counteracts it. It's a little known fact. The stream has been going on for all of a few minutes. Not very long at all. We're going to try out some different solder today, which is some finer solder, but it's probably crap. So we'll do that first, and because it was cheap, it was about £3 from eBay. Let's bring that over a little bit more. There we go, that will do. Need a bit of flux on there. I think the board might be a little bit dirty. No one's missed anything, we're barely even started. God, this solder's awful. Right, I'm getting rid of it. We're going to use the nice multi-core solder, even if it is a lot thicker. Do you know what? We are going to have to do this. The old patented Julian technique. Ugh. I've got some rock hard blue tack to put on the bench because I'm too cheap to buy the good stuff. You know, I say bench, but really we're talking my dining room table here. I think there's a couple of solder bridges there. I can't see the other side of the board. Let's have a look. No, that looks okay. That side doesn't look all that brilliant. You know what, I'll put a bit more flux on and I'll just touch the pins. While I'm doing that, I don't need to see the stream, so I can look at the chat. Yeah, it is a little bit dark, I'm afraid. There's not much I can do about it. Let's I'll move the light a little bit. Hopefully that has solved the problem. I'll have to look at the stream. So Julian, this is it's a spectrum analyzer. Well, I say that, it's a visualizer, isn't it? It's a the kind of thing you find on the front of a stereo. And it's got an interesting number of components, more than I would expect. Well, an interesting number of input or output jacks. So I'm just going to quickly run over those while there's some flux on there, just to make sure that we've got no bridges. There we go. Hopefully that's a nicer thing. Yeah, Theo looks like he's picked up the part number. The Zinger says, are you pissed up again, David? No, not quite. It is a Sunday after all. Right, let's get this massive capacitor on, shall we? And we're going to use the same little technique where we just push the part onto the solder. There we go. This is extremely difficult to do. I hope you guys realise. Was that better in terms of video when soldering? Hopefully the light is in the right place now. We've got some other bits here, so that's one of the parts there. I think we might have to flick the board around. It being a black board, it doesn't really lend itself very well to being videoed, unfortunately. Finding it's very difficult to, not having two screens. It's really, really hard to keep up with the, with what's going on. Oh, crap. Okay, well that didn't work out very well, did it? No one saw that. No one saw that. Right, it appears to be on. Let's see if I can get around this side and solder the other bit. I have too much solder. Those parts do not want to solder on. Let's flux the hell out of them. I have pretty good video lights. They're but they're not made for this kind of thing. They're made for scenarios where I can control what's being seen at the time. So I've got two big soft boxes. One is, oops. One is, where's the camera? One is over there and one is there. And they're both shining directly down. So I'm not quite sure if they're connected, so we'll have to work with it. Now, as I said, I'm not going to solder on this DC jack because I don't think I've got anything that will plug into it unless this fits. No, I can't really tell what kind of a DC jack that is. It's tiny, but I don't know, it could also be a normal DC jack. It's just not the kind I've seen on other of my cables. Did anyone look up the schematic for this or the instructions? Because I might have to do that now. We've got all these resistors here. I'm going to assume that they all go there, but we also have several other resistors, which is very annoying. But we've only got one set of capacitors, so that's going to be for all of them, I think. Yeah, those seem to be connected. And then we've got our on-off switch just there. We could probably put that on. Let's do the little on-off switch, shall we? Oh, right. This is a difficult one. My fingers are going to get in the way for a second, I'm sorry. Just so I could just place the part down. Except I can't do it. See if I can get behind it like this. There we go. This is, if I were doing a lazy Sunday video, like a normal one, then I would have cut that bit out, I think. I can't even see around this component. Hopefully that's done it, we'll see. Yeah, it sort of feels like it's not on at all. No one saw me just break it there at all. Well, that isn't on at all. Sorry, this isn't going so well, is it? Where's the flux? Let's flux the hell out of it. You know, I've started to use flux as just like a cure-all for all of my problems. I forgot to say, there's a bit of a chat rule. So if you want to ask a question, please put there's an emoticon for a question. Put that at the start of the question, and then when I see it go by, I know you're not talking to the whole of the rest of the chat. If it's something specific for me. I'm just going to call you DAV. Says, did you find out the pinout of the AV input on a Casio TV? I haven't actually done any more on that at all, so it's not something I've looked into. It is something I will look into, but for now I've got other projects that I want to do. There we go, that seems to be on now. Just a bit of a difficult thing. It has these vertical connectors that need to go to an SMD pad on the board. If I bring it closer, you can't see it because of the fixed focus on the camera. Right, should we get some capacitors on? There's only one set of capacitors, so I know at least they are they're all the same. And then we might have to have a little break while I look up where the hell all these resistors go. There we go. Now, as always, we're going to flux everything. So C2, C3, C5, and C1. I'm sure I missed out a capacitor there, I don't know where it is, but we'll get these in. I have to say, I do like the way they've got how they've got the board here, how they've got the outline of the part on the board there. That's nice. It's a nice touch. Mio says, "What are you building?" I am building an LED spectrum analyzer, or at least I hope it is, because I don't know. It's a kit that I bought off AliExpress, I think. And so there is no, I can't find it in my purchase history, so that's why there's no link in the description. Otherwise I would normally put one. Right, let's get these rest of these ones in, and then we'll solder the other side of them. So all I'm doing is pushing the part into the solder and then letting it flow up to the top of the part. It's a really simple way of doing SMD soldering when you're not in easy reach of one of these ovens or anything like that. Oops, that is not. It's not good. There we go. Let's pop a little bit of blue tack on there, and we'll do this last one, which is going to be awkward. There we go. And then we'll solder the other side. Tom asked, do you do soldering with an eyepiece or without any magnification? I do it without any magnification at all. So it is, I don't know, how far is that? I'm probably, well, I'm further away than you might expect, but about 50 centimeters away this board is, so I'm just doing it by eye. Which is why I make lots of mistakes. There we go, those are all the capacitors in. Now we've got resistors. How annoying that it does not say what they are. Right. Now, I'm going to go quiet for a second while I look up the part. Not the part, the board. Winnie HD asks, are any Pro on capacitors here? Because he's got a problem and he hopes he can fix one with... Actually, I've got a phone. I can use that to look up these parts. I'm sure there are lots of people in here that can help you out with some capacitor stuff. I can certainly give you some advice. If you can explain what your problem is, I'm sure people will help you out. John, were you trying to post something? You have to be a mod in order to post stuff. If you let me know what you're going to post, John, I can mod you up. Oh. Do you want to post it again, Paul? I've just added you as a moderator, so you'll be able to post a proper link so everyone can go to it. And I can too, which would be nice. and I'll just have a little sip of this water that I've got next to me. I think most of the time you don't really need magnification, even if you don't have great eyesight. With boards like this, you've got incredible contrast, so it's easy to see where the part is. Hello. Oh God, it's the schematic, and it's not a board layout, which would have been fantastic, but I'll work with it. So 330, 330. Oh, so those aren't 330 ohm resistors, those are 33 ohm. No, they're definitely 330. That schematic is wrong, and that's, I don't know, I guess that's... So we've got some 102, those are 1K. I can see where they are. They come from the bits here, so that will be those two there are 1K. R12, oh of course it's labelled, R12, R13, fantastic. Okay, in chat I'm sure you'll have been telling me, they're labelled, they're labelled. But yeah, they are labelled. Ooh, okay John, you can post some links, but don't do anything else. Moderator power is extreme. Kareem says, can you do a vid about servers? I don't know very much about servers, I'm afraid, so it's not something I could really do. What are we looking at here? Let's jump back. So we've got R12 and R13, those are our 1K. They're going to go just there. We've got this one, which is 100 ohm, it seems. But I don't see that on the link you guys posted earlier. Let's see if John's posted something he has. Ooh, a forum link, that's useful. What have we got going on here? I would love to show you the desktop, but unfortunately I haven't set it up that way, so I can't. Okay, that looks the same. Alrighty, that's nice. Let's have a look at that image larger, shall we? This is taxing my laptop to the extreme. Okay, so we've got 330. Where are they? Okay. Oh, crumbs. So we've got quite a few of these. So they go over there. I can't see where this 100 ohm one's meant to go. Oh yeah, I do. R9. Okay. Good. Thank you very much. They're not 33 ohm resistors. They're definitely 330. 330. So 330. There are no 33s. So I think the schematic is wrong on that one. But let's get this 1K in, because I just like to remove parts one at a time. So let's stick the board down again. I'll bring up the stream so I can see. Oh, it's not really in the middle, is it? But maybe it's better there because of the light, maybe. I'm not sure. How much is that going to annoy everyone? I don't know. It's really hard to get this, to get it in the light. Let's leave it like that. Kareem, my setup is probably the jankiest looking thing you've ever seen, so the answer is no. I did post a picture on Twitter a while back which showed my sort of setup for doing Sunday videos, and that's pretty much what this is, so that would look very similar. But today the the dining room table is a little bit messy, so I shan't show you. So R9. Let's pop this one in. Oh God, where did it go? Oh look, there's a capacitor stuck to the blue tack there. Let's have that out. I have lost the resistor. Sugars. Okay. What did I do with it? There it is. It's over here. So it's lucky I found that capacitor. Don't even know where that goes on the board now. I can't see a spare capacitor slot. There isn't one. Maybe it goes on the other side and I haven't seen it. Let's get this resistor in. That could have been terrible. Okay, that one's in. We'll go around and solder the other side of that in a little bit. We're now going to do R13 and R12, which are our 1K resistors. Do you know that this thing, I've got it down here actually, this thing, which looks very similar in fact to that, it won't keep the time. Oh, it's so annoying. The schematic is correct in terms of the Maxim data sheet for the DS3231, but it's not keeping time. I've tried all sorts of things, including looking at the registers and making sure that they are correct and that it's not only getting it's getting a full I2C communication every time it loads up, but it's still not doing it. And I think, I mean, there was a moment where I might have short-circuited the chip, so it's possible, although it still works, like it still keeps the time if power's applied, but when VCC's gone, it doesn't keep the time. Even though it's got battery backup, I've checked the connections. The battery is a lithium-ion battery, so it's not run out. It's sitting at 4.4 or something volts, so more than enough, but it's still not working. Now let's pop some solder on these pads. That's too much, but we'll work with it. In fact, we'll put a bit of flux on there so we don't have to work too hard with that. So a lot of you came up with some suggestions about what could be wrong with the clock. Tony P says 330 equals 33 times 10 to the power 0 equals 33. Is that how it works? Because otherwise it would be, oh, the 0 is the multiplier. I'm an idiot. Well done. Are you sure? So what does it say on ones that are, oh, does it say a 1? Yes, it probably does. Thanks, Tony. I've learnt something. I appreciate that. Oh God, I can't get in there. Can I? That's I mean, that's terrible, but it may be as good as it's going to get. It's just too fine a work, unfortunately. Yeah, Julian, it really is crap for now. I think it might just be a really bad chip. Well, I bought some really, really cheap ones from China. You know, you can't, sometimes you're going to get burnt with things like that. So I bought these DS3231s, and I bought 5 of them for about £2. And while they keep the time, it doesn't seem that they work all that well. I mean, secretly, don't tell anyone, all of you, but there might not be any decoupling on my... Oh, get off there. There might not be any decoupling on my crap clock at all, which could easily be a reason why it's not working. But the thing is, I just don't have the parts. I don't have the capacitors that are the right size, so I'm just waiting for an order to come in, but nobody tell me. The Zinger69 says, I think there might be a possibility this might not work the first time around. Look, I mean, maybe you've been to one of these streams before. Maybe you know, but it is a possibility, yeah. What have we got on R8 and R7? I think they're 330k. Let's have a look. R8 and R7 are 330k, and I have those just here. Kareem, I will give you the ability to post links if you tell me what the link is. Dave says, I don't see an EEPROM in your design with the RTC. There isn't an EEPROM. There, as far as I know, there doesn't need to be for it to keep its internal oscillator running. But maybe I'm wrong. It's happened lots of times before. I think Sonic Joseph said actually was that he thinks it should have the EEPROM chip in order to keep the time, but I was under the impression that that wasn't the case. But maybe it is true. Luckily, I've got essentially crowdsourced intelligence in this room, or rather in this stream. I think the DS3231 has a it's got its own internal oscillator, so it doesn't need to have the EEPROM. So you set the time, and all it does is increment the time since epoch, and then so that it keeps ticking up the seconds. What have we got next? Let's have a look at R10 and R11, because they look like they're separate from those LED ones. So R10 and R11. No, they are the LED ones. What have we got left? Oh, actually, I think we've done them all the separate ones. So now it's just the LED resistors and a spare capacitor, which I don't know where it goes. I don't think it actually goes anywhere, it seems. Just an extra. Very careless. Oh, okay. So they might have flown all over the place, but hopefully they're all there. Another one of these streams, isn't it? It could be a dodgy supply of the RCTs. Thing is, I've got a working a working DS3231 module, and I think I'm going to just take the chip off that. And I know that it works. I've tested it, so I'll take the chip off that and I'll pop it on my board, or I might actually just, I mean, this thing, right? This is the complex bit, putting all the LED matrix stuff in there. So actually I can just rig this up with the 80 mega chip, a couple of 10k resistors for the pull-ups on the SD and SEL, and I can whack on a crystal on the capacitors and the DS3231 and check if it works without any of the extra circuitry in, which would probably be a good idea. So let's get some solder on those pads first. Yeah, I do like the DS 1307. I don't know how you meant to say these numbers, I just go for whatever sounds right, but the DS3231 doesn't require an external crystal, whereas the DS 1307, I'm just going to keep saying it differently, does, and it also isn't temperature compensated. And I think the DS3231 is also age compensated as well. But they are meant to be calibrated at the factory for room temperature, I think. And then you can calibrate them yourself for other temperatures. But it should compensate anyway. Right, so that looks to be enough on there. The Winnie HC says, is it possible to convert farads to milliamps? I don't think they're the same. The problem with a capacitor is that as you discharge it, the voltage drops. So it's not like having a permanent battery or anything like that. So whatever you're using to use that power from that capacitor is going to change its current draw as the battery, as the voltage drops. The current draw is going to change. So you can't really measure it in the same way. Oh, we need to move this around a little bit. That's not the only reason why you can't do that, but it's one of the reasons. You could certainly graph it out and see find out what your power draw would be, and then you can estimate how many milliamps you'll get at a certain power level, and then graph it over voltage and over time. Oops. But there'll be someone in here that knows more about it than I do. Especially since I never studied electronics, so, oops. So the my multimeter, my iron is too hot, I think. Tony says, do you know if you can change the calibration on the DS3231? I don't know how you do it, but I know there are control registers that will set that. There's an aging register and there's a temperature compensation one, I think. Oh my lord, I'm going to hit this board in the face. These are not sitting where I'd like them to be. Oh, screw it. I don't care. That's fine. Oh, look. If you guys could see really close, which is something I would do if I was on my desk upstairs, then you'd be able to see I've not put the LEDs all in the right way around. Not LEDs, the resistors, sorry. I'm tired, so I'm not able to talk. So all of the numbers run different ways. Something that I'm sure would annoy some people. Julian was considering a pound teardown. I've got one more, but I don't seem to have a space for it. Just going to check I haven't put a capacitor in a resistor hole. No, I haven't. Everything seems fine. Okay, let's find out where we need to solder the other side. Oh, we can solder those here, can't we? We've got other sides of components to solder now. No, Dave, don't worry. It's a good shout, really. It could easily have been the case that I've missed something, so I always appreciate it when people ask a question. What is it they say on Smarter Every Day? One of my favourite channels. There are no stupid questions. Well, they probably don't say the rest of that, which is only stupid answers. Let's flux that. It's missing an LED from the clap crack clock. Come on now. Oh, my soldering iron's coming loose. I don't think I have anything to... have I got any pliers? No, I haven't got anything around here, I don't think. Oh well, we'll just have to cope with it. Maybe that's why the temperature's a little bit funny on it. Then we've got the DC jack here, but I don't want to put that on because I don't have anything to plug into it. So, all right, I'll be back in a second. I'm just going to go and get the PCB holder so that we can do the top side of the board. God, that is going to look really bad, isn't it? You're not going to be able to see it. And I mean, maybe if I was soldering that, yeah, you're going to be able to see it. It'll be fine. All right, I'm just going to go and get the PCB holder. I'll be back in a second. Right, sorry about that. I had to go and get the PCB holder and I got a little distracted looking for some pliers, but instead all I've got is these massive jaws. So we're going to just tighten this up a little bit. I can hear it shaking around, so I know it's not clamped on properly. Need something that can cope with the heat. So like you can see that's, I don't know, you can't really see, that's sort of, it's not very tight. So I won't tighten it too much, just a bit. There we go. So that will be part of the problem. Geez, I made them a bit hot there. I'll pop those on something heat resistant. The table, perfect. Wood, very heat resistant. I also picked up a cable, which I've now dropped on the floor, of the USB variety, but it has a plug on the end, and I'm hoping, no, it's not going to fit. So this is your normal DC barrel jack that you get with stuff. It will plug into an Arduino, that kind of deal. And there's one that's a lot smaller, and that goes into the board. So we can't use it. So we'll have to figure out a way of powering it differently. So I'll get a battery box or something in a minute. Anyway, I'll have to refocus the camera now that we've got this, I think. First off, let's find out which way the LEDs go round. Because I do not know. So the positive goes directly to the pins of the chip, and then the resistors are the ground. Okay, let's see if I can have a quick look at this board. It's going to go out of shot for a second. Let's see if I can just put something on to entertain you while I do that, because I don't know how long it's going to take me to trace out the little things. So let's plug the crap clock in so you can have a look at it telling me the wrong time, which I don't think you'll be able to read it anyway. I mean, it is on, but you can't see it. Sorry. What's this? Is this it's just too darn reflective. Everything in here is too reflective. Let's just, I'll turn that off for a second so you can see it while I look at the look at where the LEDs go in here. You can see that darn LED that's dim there. That's the one I burnt out. That's not the correct time, by the way. It is 9:35. So where do these LEDs, which way do they go around? Well, that is a pin there. It's very difficult to trace out. Right. It appears, I can't guarantee it though. Is that accurate? It doesn't look right. I'm not sure. I hope you're all admiring the crap clock. I haven't got chat up. I need to do that really. Dave says, can you swap the LEDs? What, on this thing? I can, oops, on that I can swap the LEDs if I want to. I don't think I've got any extras lying around. Still trying to trace out which way power is on here. It's very difficult to do. Yeah, I think I figured it out. Hopefully, if they're all the same, then it'll be easy enough. So sorry, crap clock is going to have to go away. Oh, in fact, I can show you that it's not keeping time. So if I just get this out again, you'll see that it isn't keeping time, even though it's got this battery on it, and I've tested the voltage. It's got a 3-second delay in there before it starts up. So look, 1829 still, so it's gone back. does not keep the time, unfortunately. Let's put the light back on. And we'll put our thing on. I think power goes, or rather the, is it better with that light off? Maybe it is. Is that too dark? At least you can see what's going on. Maybe I can bring this one a bit further over. You'll have to let me know. The dim one. I think the, what is it, anode goes on the left-hand side of the board and the cathode on the right. The problem with having the light dim in here means the webcam will change its frame rate, unfortunately, so it might be a bit jerky. Yeah, so that, I mean, it certainly looks that way. But I can't guarantee it, that's the problem. And let's have a look at those LEDs and see. I can try adjusting the camera, but it might just blow out the video. Let's. What I didn't want to do was blow out the white on the board. So let's just give it a go. Advanced settings. I'll change the exposure. Doesn't help with my arm in the way, does it? Well, that's as good as it's going to get. Tony says, is 1829 the last time you uploaded the code to the crap clock? It is. It's using the stored time. If it loses power, it reverts to the uploaded time. Let's see if we can get this board in. Do you know what? Maybe the, I don't know if it is going to tell me now. I'm just going to have a quick look at those board outlines in the schematic and see if it will say. It kind of does, but I can't read it properly. Well, because it's in Chinese. So it looks to say that, let's have a look at what these LEDs, where are they? Oh, just here. Yeah, I think anode, cathode. That's how we're going to go. If it's wrong, then it won't work. Right, I need to bring up the chat again, sorry. One screen is really difficult to do this. Oh, that's very kind, John, but I am not able to do that at the moment. It's with the laptop running like this, it's running at 80% of the power of the, oh darn it. Oh, there's one. 80% of the power of the laptop, so it is absolutely impossible for me to be unzipping anything and opening PDFs or anything like that. Right, so we know where these are going, so let's just solder the pads over here. That's better. The soldering iron's behaving much better now. It's kind of a bit of I love this soldering iron. It's a real workhorse. It heats up quickly. It maintains the temperature. It's got a good thermal mass to it, so it doesn't doesn't really suck, so I'm pleased with it. And it was super cheap too. Where did I get it again? Was it? I think it's a Tenma one. I got it from. Instructions say go towards the Y on all of them. What does that mean, Edward? So there's a Y on the board, so all the current is going this way, is it? So anode, cathode. So this is ground, is it? I'll go and grab a multimeter in a second so we can test these LEDs. It would be quite annoying for it not to work, wouldn't it? From the schematic, I figured out that it looks like the anode is on the side where you've got the inputs. Oh God, I've just remembered. I haven't packed my kit for football. Not that you guys are interested in that, but I have to do that before tomorrow. Okay, let me go and grab my multimeter then before we do this. I'm just going to mute the audio so you don't hear me clanging around again. Right, so I've got a multimeter, but I've also got this, I got these things from, I don't know, eBay or AliExpress, one of them, but they're multimeter tweezers. I figured they'd be easier for doing things like this. So, I mean, they're crappy cables, they're not nice silicon ones like are on my, my actual leads, which are fluke leads, but I'm using them on a crappy multimeter. It's just they're nicer quality. So whack that into volts, that one into common. We want it in diode test mode. And oh, let's move some things around. It's entirely possible I've lost some LEDs somewhere, but there's one on the board here, so let's test that one out. Not that way around. Let's move this out of the way. Yeah, there we go, that one's lit. So, oh, do you know what's annoying about that? Oh, it does have it marked on here. Because usually I can figure out which way it is round because the things are different colours, but so we've got negative here and positive there. So I want it to be, I want to know which way around positive is. I could look at the back of the LED now and figure it out. So it's that way, okay. Oh, there's an arrow on the back of the LED. That's helpful. Okay. So I want the arrow to point towards the Y. Really? Okay, I'm not quite sure that's right, but we'll go with it if that's what it says. That doesn't look right from the schematic, but we'll see. I think this is too dark. There we go. Is that any better? Yeah, it is better. That's cool. Okay. Right, where are these other LEDs that I've already taken out of the packet? I am very sure I got more than 2 out. No, I didn't. Okay, that's good. Take a few more out of there. He says a few. Let's just do most of them. So are we all sure that the arrow goes towards the Y? Because that's where we're all going. If anyone can double check that, that would be great. Well, the thing is, I can't actually test it before I put them all in. Well, maybe I can actually. Oops. Do you know what? Let's see if we can. So I know that, I'll take these leads out. I need some, I've left the other leads upstairs. I'll be back in a second. Right. So I know that the anode goes to the chip. So we can probe the pin on the chip and then the other side of the LED, I guess. Let's try that very quickly. Powering it up now to test it. It probably is a good idea. I'm just going to probe it though. Okay, yeah, that appears to work. So it is that way round. Well, as near as, damn it, as close as I can hope it is. God, there are lots of these LEDs. Oh, does anyone remember? There used to be something called a LOL shield. Does anyone remember that? It was a lots of LEDs shield. Let's move all of these over. And hopefully I haven't lost too many of them. You know who I'm going to blame if this doesn't work out right. Kareem says there's terrible sound when the soldering iron touches the LED. Yeah, you'll find a crackle on my microphone. That is the nature of the soldering iron being on the same power supply as my microphone is. Oh, made a hash of that. Not something I can sort out, unfortunately, unless I isolate it. Do 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 do. Just doing some elevator type music for you. Thought you might appreciate that. That one's sitting a little bit proud. Let's pop him down a bit. I will undoubtedly get one wrong. And my hands are shaking. Ah, screw you. There we are. Luckily, these have got, not that you can really see it, but they've got a little green mark in the top, just there, right in the top of the LED that I can see quite well, even with my old eyes. Usually I have something to talk about when I'm doing this. In fact, I think I do have something to talk about. Oh yeah, I've made zero progress on my radio cube. And also I picked up a radio that I wanted to turn into an internet radio. So Roberts RM20, which if you look it up on Google, is a beautiful, beautiful radio. But unfortunately it only does long wave and medium wave. And that's either Sabras radio in the UK, in Leicester, or it is Radio 4, and not much in between. So it's not too useful, apart from looking like a brilliant bit of kit. It is going to be converted into something else. Now, I have another Roberts radio that I'm using as a line-in thing, but this one needs to be useful. I want to have it with my audio setup, so that includes the Roon audio player that I put together, and so that will be going in the, sort of the same retro setup that I already have, which I love dearly. The record player that I've got actually, which is in that same sort of setup, is a Sony PL12D, like a super awesome vintage record player. And I got it for free. I got it off Free Cycle, if anyone remembers what that is. I don't know if it is still a thing, but yeah, I got it off Free Cycle. And I might turn this soldering iron down a touch, but what I will do is help myself with a bit of flux. Are you auto-focused? No, it went a bit weird then. Yeah, it's, I got it on Free Cycle, which was absolutely fantastic. The guy bought it in 1975, and he'd owned it ever since. So it was it was really amazing to get it. Like, just essentially it was one previous owner. It had the receipt in there from, where did he buy it? Did he buy it in Curry's? I think he bought it in Curry's in the UK, and it had the registration card and everything. I was just really pleased. And I had several records. It was at a time when I was a student, and I thought, God, record players are cool. I mean, they're not really that cool, are they? They're just a different format for music. But at the time, geez, I thought it was awesome. I was like listening to a lot of Bob Dylan. I like Don McLean. I had a Lynyrd Skynyrd album. What's the Lynyrd Skynyrd album called? I can't remember, but it had basically all the most famous tracks on there. And I've got some Creedence, I think. Creedence Clearwater Revival. They are an amazing band. Or at least I don't listen to these bands anymore. It's a weird thing, actually. The stuff that really shapes you when you're younger doesn't necessarily keep with you till later life. But it certainly spoke to me at the time. Anyway, that's why I love retro old stuff, because I fell in love with records when I was younger. Oh, screw you, LED. I can see that you're going to be a bit of a problem. All right, we'll start again on that one. Super unhelpful. There we go. Let's try that again. There we go. I'm just going to look at the chat because I haven't looked at it for a second. Well, I say a second. That whole rant about record players. Let me just scroll back a little bit. Mako says, what part of the UK are you from? I'm in Leicester, which is the Midlands, so the centre of the UK. Oh, and Julian's already answered for me. Gilbert's project. Everybody from Leicester is cool. Yeah, that's pretty accurate. Gilbert is actually from Leicester as well. I say from Leicester. I'm not originally from Leicester. I came here to go to university, but that was many, many, many years ago now. And I consider myself from Leicester these days. I've been here 15 years. And I can't imagine living anywhere else now. I do love it. I'd love to hear from you guys in the chat about how you got started with electronics, actually. It's something that I started doing, and I think I've told this story before, but I broke my ankle playing football, which I still do, not break my ankle, but play football. And so I was out of work for about 4 months, and I didn't play football for about a year. Julian says I don't have a Leicester accent. I don't. I've just lost an LED. I blame you, Julian. Right, that's gone. Okay, we'll have to put a different one in there at some point. Oh God, I've lost another one. Yeah, what was I saying? Oh yeah, I started doing electronics because it gave me something to do, because I couldn't really go out. I couldn't go to work. At the time, I didn't have the same job, so I couldn't work from home, and I couldn't create anything at home because I was an admin dude. I did sort of just office work, and so I couldn't bring that work home. But now that I'm sort of a web guy, then I can work remotely, but I couldn't at the time. So yeah, that's why I started. And the first thing I did was it an Adafruit thing? I think it was an Adafruit thing. It was a pen or pencil. It was a pencil. I've forgotten what the name of it was, but it was like a theremin essentially. It's like a capacitance-driven audio thing. And then after I'd done that, and I put it up on YouTube, that's how I started YouTube, was because I needed something to entertain me throughout the day. So I did that, put it up on YouTube, I think. And I had this big old soldering gun. So I didn't have a soldering iron. I had one of those guns and it had a big trigger. And it took, I don't know, like 30, you'd hold this thing down for about 20 seconds or so. And then it would eventually get to temperature. You'd solder your thing and then you'd let go. And then you'd go to the next one, you'd press the thing down again. It would take forever. And yeah, I hated it. But, you know, I just started and I didn't want to spend any money on electronics. It was just an interest. And then I did this word clock, which I don't know why did I do Arduino stuff? Can't really remember. But I bought an Arduino Uno, and I decided, right, Blink looks easy, I can do it. So I bought this Arduino Uno. Well, it was a clone. I don't think I've never bought an original Arduino. It's an awful thing to admit, isn't it, I guess. I have donated, but I've never bought an Arduino. Oh, there's another LED gone. I've never bought an original one. I'm sure there are loads of people that have never bought original ones. I don't think I should feel particularly bad about it. They did open source their stuff. I wouldn't be angry if someone copied my things. So yeah, I did that and I made a word clock. And I thought it was this super original idea where the numbers would light up. It wasn't. It wasn't super original. People had done it already. But I thought I was the first. At the time, searching word clock gave you lots of programming things. I don't think a word clock was an electronic thing then. There were ones that had made, but they weren't very searchable, so I didn't really find them. What a time to be alive, eh? It wasn't that long ago, really. Drawdio. Yeah, I remember saying it wrong. Dave's got it right. Drawdio. It's like draw. I couldn't say it even then. That was probably about 4 or 5 years ago now. Yeah, Jay says not many LEDs left now. Well, they all could be the wrong way round still. If it is, we've just had a nice chat. It's not really a problem, is it? If any of you have ever been here for a stream before, then you'll know not to come here expecting something to work out. There's always something. Plus, we're one LED short anyway. So yeah, after that, after my word clock thing, I don't really know. I did a bit of stuff I did some photography. I really enjoyed photography actually. I liked film photography a lot. I don't really do that anymore. I don't do any photography anymore. But again, that was part of me not being very mobile. I could just take pictures in the garden and stuff like that. I had a full leg cast on at the time. I think when I did the word clock, I was fine by that point. Yeah, I was actually. I was living in a flat in town. I hated that flat. But it had a really nice open space to do work in, which was great. Yeah, so I think I started doing tutorials and stuff, but I soon fell out of doing tutorials, and I don't do tutorials anymore. And for very good reason. If you're ever wrong and you do a tutorial, then people get really annoyed with you because that can hang around for ages. So I've still got some tutorials around on YouTube, but I don't tend to do them anymore. Let's have a bit more flux. Right, let's have a look at the chat because I've not been paying attention. Well, I can't, unfortunately. Oh, there we go. There are actually extra LEDs, luckily, so I think we've probably got enough. I mean, that's if they're all going on the right way round. So yeah, those tutorials were not really my bag anyway. Well, I guess they were at the time. So I like making videos about stuff that I enjoy, or stuff that I enjoy, or stuff that I've learnt. So these days I tend to make videos about projects that I'm working on because I can tell you about stuff that I learn as we go. But before, I didn't really have any big projects in mind. It was just like how to use a temperature sensor, that kind of thing. So I was learning the basics, the real basics. So I admitted to this in the stream the other day. I didn't really understand how current worked. I thought if there was 1 amp, let's say you've got something drawing an amp, then I thought, let's say it's on a bus, you've got a power bus. I thought if it was drawing an amp, 1 amp's going to go to every component in that circuit. So I didn't really understand it. But as I said, I was never trained in electronics, so I didn't really understand how it worked. And that was only probably 2.5 years ago, 3 years ago. There we go, that's all of the LEDs in. Oh, the chat can become Ask Julian, that's fine. We need to find out which one is ground, so we can probe around on a capacitor of this connector here. This one there, we need to figure out which one's ground. So we'll do a continuity test between sides of the capacitor to see if we can figure it out. I would assume these two are positive, but I can't be sure. Okay, is that helpful? So we know this is negative on the capacitor. No, so this side is ground. I think they both will be. No? Ground and ground are there. So that's also ground. So the tip is positive and those ones are ground. You can probably hear the beep. All of those are ground, and that one is the positive to that side of the capacitor. Okay. So what kind of voltage do we think it needs? Let's see if we can see on the schematic. Does it say? No, it just says VCC. I'm going to assume 5 volts. I think that's a fair assumption to make, isn't it? Okay, I'm just having a look at the schematic, so see if it says anything in there. 5 volts, yeah, it's fine. It doesn't say what size the jack is, but that's fine. Someone asked, did you solder the last pad? I haven't actually soldered the other side of any of these LEDs, so there's still that to do, but I just want to solder one of them, and then we'll oh, do you know what, we could just go for it. Should we just go for it? No, we'll solder one. I'll go and get a battery box so we can power this up. I'll be back in a second. Right, I've got a 3-cell battery box. That will have to be enough. And we need to solder positive to there and negative to a different one. So I'll just pop some solder on there. Oops. It doesn't have to be perfect. It would be nice if it went on at all. Bit more solder, I think. Oh, I need the blue tack for this. like shoving this around all over the place. Well, they're not coming off, so that's fine. Right, we need an audio in, but Lord knows it doesn't say anything on it about which way audio goes in. Have a little MP3 player. You kids might not remember these, but these were all the rage back in the day. So I don't have MP3s on my phone. I use a little MP3 player when I go to the gym or something like that. So the battery's almost flat, that's annoying. Let's just plug it in. Okay, and just press, oh, I don't think it can play at the same time as charging, that's annoying. How do we go back home? I don't want to play all. There must be one on here that's a YouTube one, I thought. Oh well, we're going to go with Jamie T, play all, and we'll plug it in. To one of the outputs. In fact, before we do that, let's solder on one of these LEDs. Solder the other side of it, is what I mean. And we'll do it from the bottom, because then I think that signal will come from the bottom, I would have thought. And we'll do one up the top on the other side. Because I don't know which side it's going to come on, so let's plug the batteries in and make sure that no smoke comes out. I'll turn it over so you can see if there will be smoke coming out. Let's see what the, I mean, a little sense check here. We'll just check the batteries. I've got these are non-rechargeables, which is a bit of a sin really. I hate using them, but they've got this power check thing on them, look, which is pretty cool. Generally I don't use non-rechargeables, but I got these for free in something, I can't remember. And make sure they're all the right way around. Okay, let's plug it in, see what happens. We've got some LEDs lighting up. Well, the music is playing now. I think they're the right way round. What's going on in the chat? Just turn this light back on so I can see. But what's with all the question marks? Am I missing something? Okay, it looked, yeah, someone, whoever said that, oh, did you see that? We got a few more lighting up there. Anyway, let's turn off this MP3 player since it's almost dead. And I'll plug it into charge while we do the rest of these. Yeah, it's got, I don't know if anyone noticed, it's got this, you know, the little OLED displays that you can get where you've got one colour at the top and one colour here. That's what this is. It's got that exact same format. Let's pop the batteries out of this because I don't want to be soldering while there's a live connection there. And then we're almost done. I might actually make it before 11, who knows? Now, which side of these LEDs needs soldering? It is that side, okay. So let's pop this back in our PCB holder to make my life a lot easier. We'll have a look if we need to refocus. I don't want it to be out of focus. Yeah, it looks out of focus to me. Oh, how to get the emoji. You have to click on the little face at the bottom. Marcus says, I guess the LEDs aren't making contact. Yeah, they're not. I only soldered 2 LEDs on there properly and the rest aren't soldered properly. So the rest are going to get done now. So let's just configure this so we get some focus better. Focus better? Whatever. Let's see if I can do it without really properly looking at that. That's as good as it's going to get, I think. Hopefully that's okay. Now let's solder the rest of these bad boys up. Oh God, I said I wasn't going to say that anymore. Yeah, do the first column. That's a good idea, actually. Let's do that. Do you know what we're going to do? We're going to flux it up. Even if I do the first column, there's no way I'm going to remove them after the fact. We might just have to... In fact, even if it's wrong, I don't think we're going to remove it because it's 10:30. So if it's not done in an hour, then in like half an hour, then we're leaving it, unfortunately. Because I have to get my football kit ready for tomorrow. And I have to get ready for work. Big day at work tomorrow. I'm testing a new chat system. Not that that's remotely interesting. I've just done more than, oh well, I've done more than I said I'd do. And just haven't realised. Let's plug it in again. We've just done 2 columns because I sort of forgot what I was meant to be doing. I think it might have a startup routine there. Did you see that? There'll be a few lighting up because some of the sides are touching, but it's not a problem. One of these is input and one of them is output. Battery low. Don't shut off. I just let you charge. Right, fine. We'll have to use my phone. There must be something on here. Do I have MP3? How do you even play MP3s on your phone? Oh, music. Local songs. Okay, I've got a Pete Morton track called Another Train. Which is now playing. And it doesn't appear to be very bright. You can't see it, can you? I didn't realise, sorry. We're going to go into the darkness. That is on the wrong thing. I know it looks black to you here, but... Oh. I would say that that's good, but unfortunately my phone is now at max volume, so it doesn't appear to be right. What I do have is a speaker here and another cable. So we can see if we've got it on the right output, or right input output rather. So hopefully none of you are susceptible to flashing lights. It is sort of doing something. Let's see what we get when I plug this in. I'll try and turn the volume right down for this. Yeah, that's the input and output. So the audio is coming through, you can hear it, hopefully. We crawl in the dark sometimes. Anyway, that's Pete Morton. He's a very good songwriter. Song's called Another Train. It's Another Train. Let's get the lights back on, shall we? So it appears to be working, except the volume is not very high. So what we're going to do is just solder up the rest of the LEDs. They're definitely the right way around though. So we know that we can work with that. And we know that they're the right way around because only the IC's pins source current. So they're the ones lighting the LEDs individually in a matrix type fashion. And then the resistors go to ground. So there's no way they would light up in the reverse. So that is good news. Okay, have I got this the wrong way around, haven't I? Yeah. Let's turn that other light on. I'm looking forward to Julian's vocoder. I do like having a oh dear, what was that? It's just a bit of solder. I thought I'd flicked something off there. I enjoy having a project that lasts a long time, and I think Julian's vocoder one's going to be one of those ones that, you know, is around for a while. I'm not saying Julian's not going to finish it, obviously. I just mean that it's a mammoth task. So let's get the rest of these soldered in. I haven't placed some of these really well, but I will just have to persevere. Burgrats. I didn't even think about what the button was for. You genius. Ah, oh, we'll try that in a second. Look at that LED, that is just terrible. Are there any others like that? Yeah, there are. I've put some of them on so they're not really far enough away from this pad along here. So when I come to solder it, it's a bit, very difficult. And I'm about to lose this. Let's pop this down. Yeah, the rest look okay. Let's solder the rest of these up. And then we'll have a little party, a disco. A disco with Pete Morton. He's not exactly a disco kind of singer-songwriter. But I only have a couple of tracks on my phone, so that is all we're getting. I can't believe something's actually working out in a stream. I don't think I've done anything wrong yet, apart from Julian making me fling an LED across the room. Oops. Yeah, these tweeters are really nice. I mean, they say they're ESD safe. Who knows if they really are? They were cheap. A few pounds from eBay, I think. But they're certainly better than my other ones. And they appear to protect me from the heat quite well. The other ones I had really didn't. They were some kind of crappy stainless steel. Well, they weren't stainless steel, they were some kind of steel coated thing. That is all of them done. Okay. Test mode it is. Let's get these batteries back in. Okay, hopefully you can, let's turn one of these lights out. That's probably better, isn't it? I'm going to turn all of the lights out. What does that say? Is there one line that's not lighting? Yeah, there is. I know why they're not lighting. I figured out why they're not lighting. Let's take the battery out. There's got to be a resistor that's not soldered properly. Yeah, there's two here. Two of these aren't soldered correctly, so let's sort that out. I forgot because we were going through these, weren't we? And I just didn't do the end of these connections. And that one there. Oh, look. Okay, so we didn't do it with several of them. Oh God, look, this is why it didn't work, isn't it? So it didn't go wrong exactly, I just didn't finish up what I was doing. Okay. That's all done. I imagine it's probably going to work now. Okay, what I'm going to do quickly, you can't really see that, but the board is a little bit dirty, so I'm just going to give it a clean with some isopropyl alcohol and a toothbrush. Okay, so let's now do that again. I'm going to turn the lights off again. Here we go. Lights are going off again. So S2, slow flash type, and F is full speed. Thanks, John. So we're going for the slow flash type, and now I'm going to plug my phone in, and we'll play something. Well, that looks all right, doesn't it? Let's see if we can... I don't know what this is. I'm going to plug the speaker in so we can have a listen to whatever this is and see if it makes sense with the... Oh yeah, it would help if I plugged it in. I don't know if this is copyrighted music. Let's try the other mode. Oh, that's nice, isn't it? No one wants to listen to that. Well, how cool is that? Well, I'm very impressed. Let's get the light back on again. So yeah, that's it. That is awesome, isn't it? Can't really see it with that other light on, can you? Let's turn that one off. Right, well that is going to be the end. I will hang around here for the length this song has to run, which is like a minute. So if anyone's got any questions, please do write them in the chat now, and I'll answer them. I've got that bit of thing left to drink, so we'll do that. But has anyone got any questions or whatever? I'm really pleased it's worked, honestly. It's not something that usually happens in these streams, and we're going to finish before 11, which is brilliant. How long does that mean the chat's been going for? Not chat, the stream's been going for. I have no idea. That will give you an indication of how long this kit takes to make, I guess. And I'm certainly no slacker when it comes to soldering, so I was doing it pretty fast. Paul says, is your soldering iron a 936 clone? I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. Let me have a look if I can get the model number. It is a Hako 2064549. Not Hako, Tenma, sorry. Tenma 2064549. That's what it is. I can't post a link to it now. I don't remember exactly where I got it from. Maybe. Let's see if I can find it on my computer. No, I can't. Because I'm on my laptop, it's not the one I normally use, so I don't have login details for everything. So I will do it in a bit. When I go upstairs, I'll go on my computer and I will find the link to it and I'll post it in the description so you can have a look at it later if you like. But yeah. Tony says, Morrison's has a special offer on Jameson's Stout Barrel Whiskey. Maybe you should have a look at that. Yeah, I could try that out. Can I undo that? Is that it's not live, is it? Let's see. I'm just unscrewing so this soldering iron is a really nice one. I know I'm talking about this a lot, but I was just asked about it. It's got the thing you plug into it has got one of those cables, the five DIN plugs, which means it's easy to take them out. And it also, is this going to pull everything off the desk? possibly. No, I can't even show you it because my whole desk is weird. Anyway, it's got a nice LCD display on the front which shows you the temperature. You get different presets, and there are 4 buttons on the front, which means you can turn it up and down. Thanks for joining, Theo. Julian likes the pink purple LEDs. Yeah, I think they'd be cool too. We've got some really weird music going on now. I'm assuming it's not copyrighted music, but maybe it is. I'm just going to stop it. I'm hoping it's music that I took off for a YouTube video and then it's just still on there, but I don't know. Yeah, I could try and move the camera, but then you see how messy my desk is. Let's, how high do we have to go here? I've got a tripod on my desk, which isn't easy to move up. All right, that is, okay, look, this is my soldering iron, if that helps. It's got a nice little display. Can I even, oh, there we go. So it's telling me that the thingamabob is disconnected, the iron. There we go. And now it's not complaining anymore. So it gives you the real temperature. I can't tell you if that's exactly right. If there's actually a probe, a temperature probe inside the iron itself, I'm not entirely sure. But you get this, you get some presets and stuff you can use, and up and down and all that kind of stuff, and a nice switch on the side. Anyway, I think that's it for me tonight. So thank you very much for joining me. And I'm just going to leave you with this weird view of my desk. So this was the clock. Not clock. What do I mean? This is the spectrum analyzer. How close can we... Oh, I'll tell you what. We'll do a little close-up, shall we? Before I leave. Configure video. And... move that out of the way. That'll do. Hang on a minute. Sorry, I've got only one screen, so it's very difficult. So those are all the LEDs all nicely soldered on. Every one of them seems to be sitting quite nicely on the board there. So that looks okay, doesn't it? And they're really bright. They're nice. And then that is the other side of the board. So not a terrible soldering job, really. Very difficult to see a black board. Anyway, there we go. Yeah, there are quite a few wires on there. In fact, I think I've got quite a few on my crap clock, which is the wrong way round. There are a fair amount of wires on there too. Actually, you can see more of them, or you can see them more accurately on the back of the board. But yeah, you have to do that when you're running with LEDs, because you've got to go over and above them and whatever. I should hold something up just so you've got something to look at, I suppose. Anyway, I think that is it. Thank you very much for joining me, and I will see you all, well, when I next do a video, I guess. What a stupid thing to say. Actually, before you go, if you could write in the comments, have you got any kits or anything you think I should build next? Because I've got a few left, but I'm not really looking forward to doing any of them because lots of them are SMD soldering. And I've done plenty of that, I really have. So maybe comment in the video section rather than the live section. So once this is over, that would be great. All right, I will see you all. That's meant to be a thumbs up. I will see you all soon. Did you see PCBs.io has gone from 1.6 to 1.2? Oh no, I don't know. What, they decided on only one? It doesn't really matter to me, the PCB width. Thicker is better for my tastes anyway. Right, goodbye everyone. Thank you very much for coming. See you all soon.